At the end of the Winter War, which lasted from November 30th, 1939 to March 13th, 1940, 1 million out of 1.5 million Russian soldiers sent to take over Finland were killed by the defending Finnish military. And there was one man in this war that had a significant effect on it, racking up 505 confirmed kills only using iron sights on his Mosin-Nagant M28. This man is Simo Häyhä. At least that's how I think you pronounce it. We're just going to go with Simo. And he was also known as the White Death. Simo was born on December 17th, 1905 in Ruutjärvi, Finland. I don't know how to say it correctly, but he was born in Finland in 1905, and he grew up on a farm, and this would help him later in life because the physical labor is good for young men. A few years later, Simo served his 1-year mandatory service in the Finnish military. And after his service, he was honorably discharged and promoted to the rank of corporal. Not too long after that, in 1925, Simo joined the Finnish Civil Guard, which is basically equivalent to the United States National Guard. During this time in the Finnish Civil Guard, he would undergo a lot of training, and this is where he would start target practice. He'd start shooting with his first rifle, which was a Russian-built Mosin-Nagant bolt-action M91. And it wasn't until he was able to get the better rifle, the Mosin-Nagant M28, as well as a 9mm Suomi submachine gun. And finally, after quite a lot of time in the Finnish Civil Guard and quite a lot of target practice, he was able to hit a target 500 feet away 16 times per minute. After many years in the Finnish Civil Guard, Simo was called into service in 1939 to serve under the 6th Company of JR 34 on the Kola River. Under the command of Major General Villuo Tuompo, can't say that name either, the Finns were up against the 9th and 14th armies of the Soviet Union. At one point, the Finns were fighting as many as 12 divisions at once, which is equivalent to 160,000 Soviet soldiers. During one of these battles, there was only 32 Finnish soldiers up against 4,000 Soviet soldiers. And despite being vastly outnumbered, the Finns were victorious in the end. A lot of this is due to the fact that the Soviets were extremely disorganized. Many of them spoke many different languages. They could not communicate. And Russian winters are bad, but they weren't quite used to the Finnish winters, which were really, really terrible. In fact, during the winter of 1939 to 1940, the temperatures ranged from -40 to -20 degrees Celsius, which is -40 to -4 degrees in Fahrenheit. The Finnish would come up with a pretty smart tactic called moti, where basically they would just wait and hide in the forest, wait for the Soviets to pass on the main roads, because the Soviets would only invade by main roads. So they would hide by the main roads in the forest, wait for the Soviets to pass, and then attack them from behind when the Soviets had already passed. Now, back to Simo. During the Winter War, Simo would wear winter camouflage and carry only a day's worth of supplies and ammunition. While hiding out in the snow, Simo would put snow in his mouth in order to cover his breath. And as I said earlier, Simo would only use iron sights due to the fact that scopes can glare in the sun, and he didn't want to be seen at all. Within 98 days, Simo racked up 505 confirmed kills, and because of this, he was given the nickname the White Death by the Russian soldiers. During these 98 days, there were 3 times where Simo almost died. Number 1, when Soviets fired mortars directly over Simo's position, but he wasn't injured at all. Number 2, the Soviets fired artillery directly onto Simo, with one shell exploding right behind him, but he only got a scratch on his back. That was the only thing he got from an artillery fire against him. And the 3rd time, which is definitely a time where he came so close to death, it was insane. On March 6th, 1940, Simo was hit in the jaw with an explosive round from an enemy sniper. And after he fell to the ground, he also fell into an 11-day coma, waking up on the final day of the war. And at the end of the war, Simo was promoted from corporal to 2nd lieutenant, and this was the largest jump in ranks in Finnish history. And I can put it up on screen so you can see what kind of jump that is. It's going up many, many ranks, and I think that was well deserved. He lived to the old age of 96, dying on April 1st in 2002 and attributed his skill in sniping to practice, as he said. Some of the awards he received were the Medal of Liberty, 1st and 2nd class, Cross of Liberty, 3rd and 4th class, as well as the Cross of Kola Battle. One thing I've noticed about these great men when I do these videos on them is that from the beginning, from the moment these men are born, they already have the potential. And it's weird because life seems to set up perfect challenges for them to overcome. And I guess one of the main things that differentiates these men from average people is that they're willing to take on the challenges. And I don't think most people are willing to take on any challenge most of the time. But yeah, this was Simo Häyhä. I don't know how to say his name, but it's crazy what he did in war. And I think it is harder to relate to men who fought in war, just because personally I wouldn't know what that's like. So I think that's one reason why I should try to find more great men that did not go to battle. But I think it's also good to show the men who went to battle because, you know, it's good to show the different types of great men. You know, I did a video on Louis L'Amour, who did not go to war. Actually, he did go to war. That's not true. He didn't fight, but he was in World War II. And then I did a video on John Taylor Gatto, which I don't think he was in a war. He was a school teacher. So there's many different types of great men, but I think all of these great men should be talked about. And I hope you guys had a good day. I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you guys next time.